All right. Pleasant good evening. I think we're gonna get a better stream now. The internet is working a little better. I'm gonna try to get to the point a little quicker because it's already late and I just want to spend a few minutes. Tonight I want to talk about the topic matrices. Right? Matrices is basically the arrangement of numbers or elements, right, in squared brackets. And these squared brackets can either have, you know, a number of rows or a number of columns. And you're going to learn a few minutes from now that, you could basically describe a matrix based on the number of rows and number of columns. Right? So let us see how we could get through. We're going to look at addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And if possible, we look at how to find the inverse of a matrix. This is generally the type of question that you'll find maybe in the last question for most people, 2 questions. So I want to encourage you to pay attention to this topic. And after going through these little exercises this evening, go and work some of those questions from the back of your paper. All right, so without further ado, let's get into tonight's action quickly. Now I'm using a resource from Jamaica Strand, right? So I must give credit to them. And I hope that you find it interesting. I already placed a copy in our WhatsApp group, so I hope that you pay attention to the details there in the WhatsApp group and you'll be able to follow along. So let's first look at matrix addition and subtraction. Now notice here we have a number of, I hope you can see what I'm pointing with, right? You notice that there's a number of matrices. And notice that they're shaped differently. Now, we can describe these shapes and size by giving the dimension of the matrix. And this is how you basically say it. So look at the first one. How many rows do we have? Always remember that rows run horizontally, right? While columns run vertically. So in the first matrix, how many rows? Clearly you can see there's 1, 2 rows. And how many columns? 1, 2 columns. So therefore, we have what is known as a 2 by 2 matrix. And this is generally written like this. For example, let me get my writing tablet up and running. So this generally is written like this. So for example, you say this is a 2. Oh boy, man, this is not writing well at all. Right, so this is generally a, this is a, come on, behave itself. Still don't want to behave itself. Trying to get 2 written and it's not doing justice. This is a 2 by 2. Somehow let them let us to form. Interesting. Anyhow, as I said, now this is my first online live, so if it doesn't go perfect, I do apologize, but it will get better as we go forward, I trust. Anyhow, this is a 2 by 2. And give them justice. So it's a 2. So you might see a multiplication sign, but this multiplication doesn't mean 2 by 2 times 2. It means 2 by 2. Basically describing the matrix to be a 2 by 2 matrix. Another name you hear for this is also called a square matrix. Right? So all 2 by 2 matrices are usually called a square matrix. So now let's look at this one. How many rows do we have? We have only 1 row. And how many columns? We have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. So therefore, this is a 1 by 3. And I guess by now you could figure out what is the other one. How many rows do we have? We have 2 rows in C. And how many columns? We have 1 column. So therefore, this is what? This is a 2 by 1. Alright, so what is D? Quickly, you should be able to tell me. You have 1, 2, 3 rows. And how many columns? 1, 2 columns. So therefore, this is a 3 by 2. Simple as that. Easy as 1, 2, 3. So let's go down quickly to some addition. I want to ensure that you're able to see. I need to have my monitor up so I can know that you're seeing what I'm seeing. Can you see? Okay, let me zoom it up a little bit more. So I'm gonna zoom. Zoom. So let's look at this now. So notice here that we have two 2 by 2 matrices that needs to be added. One key point to note is that you can only add and subtract matrices by adding and subtracting their corresponding elements. What do I mean by corresponding elements? Notice that this element is in row 1, column 1. And this element here is in row 1, column 1 also. So they are called corresponding elements. So they must be in the same position. So you add corresponding elements. So let's work this out quickly. So how would this look? So you will set this up like this. I don't know where now with this thing. I don't know if it's for aspiration or so, but someone doesn't want to give me justice. Let me go equal 5 plus 5. Yes, I'm not doing a good job, but I'll work with it. You have a space, so you have a white space. Then we go minus 1. What? When are this thing? Making a mess of things here. Alright, students. Next time I come on live, we gotta ensure that everything is working. But it was working fine a few minutes ago. Alright. So while that works its way out, let me just articulate it quickly. So you have 5 plus 5, minus 1 plus 1, 2 plus minus 2, and 0 plus 5. And that will give us what? What will be the solution? Solution would be, so this is how you put it, set it down, equal 5 plus 5. And you simplify, 5 plus 5 is 10, minus 1 plus 1 is 0, 2 plus minus 2 is 0, 0 plus 5 is 5, and that's the solution there for your matrix. And that's simple how you do addition, corresponding element. Let's look at some subtraction. Look at this one here. Try this one here for me. So we have a 2 by 3. Right, they're subtracting each other, and so therefore you have to subtract it for element by element or corresponding element, element by corresponding element. So take a quick try for me. And this will basically give us 4 minus 10, 3 minus 2, 1 minus 5. Then we have 6 minus 4, minus 1 minus 5, and 4 minus 8. Are we all following? Are we all following? Good, good. So, I guess you hear me clear and stuff. You know, you could put a thumbs up somewhere that I could see. And so, simplifying the what we have, 4 minus 10. Remember, using your number lines, think about subtraction. It really helps, right? So you have 4 things you take away 10. So you go to the left of your number line, which will carry you from 4. You go 3 and you count down 2, 1, and you end up at negative 6. You have 3 things. You take away 2. You're going to end up with 1. You have 1, take away negative 5. Notice the negative and the negative, think of it as multiplying each other, so it becomes positive. So it ends up being 1 plus 5, which is 6. 6 minus 4 gives us 2. And negative 1 minus 5. So you have negative 1, and if you subtract it and you go into the left, you go in more and more negative, so it results in negative 6. Then we have 4 minus 8. Remember, negative and negative, when you find the two signs are together like that, think of them as multiplying each other. And we know the rule that a negative times a negative is a positive. So it's like 4 plus 8, which gives us 12. And that's our solution. Simple as that. And that's how easy addition is, right? So anytime you were asked to do an addition, all you have to do is to treat corresponding elements with, you just add or subtract corresponding elements. That's all you need to do. Please note this fact that matrices are equal if they have the same dimensions and corresponding elements are equal. So there's another concept of equal matrix. Now this is a nice one for us to try. So given that A, so look at this question here. Example 3. Given that you have a 2 by 2 matrix minus another 2 by 2 matrix equals a 2 by 2 matrix. So you have the answer. The question is, what is the value for A, what is the value of B, and what is the value of C? How would we go about answering such a question? Real nice. So I'll give you a couple of seconds. You could try it. Right? You could try it. You should have a piece of paper at least, you could scribble down these concepts. But what is the value of A? Now, what is your mind telling you? Now, think of it as some mini expressions. We know that A minus 4 must give us 5. So, I trust that. Let me put this on and turn it off back, and hopefully that it starts writing. All right, Lord, please for a miracle. So let's try this out. So now, let's see how it's going to work. So we have A. So we know, looking at these two matrices, in order to get this answer here, in order to get this, some operation had to happen between these two matrices. And since it is subtraction, we know it is corresponding element to corresponding element. So let's go to the first one. So we will have A minus 4 is equal to the answer 5. So if A minus 4 is equal to 5, it therefore means that A is equal, this writing thing is struggling, it's equal to 5 plus 4. The rules of equation. So you take the minus 4 over the equal sign and it becomes positive. So it gives 5 plus 4, which gives us 9. So we know that A is equal to 9. And I guess you could try it for C. try it for B and tell me what you get. By the time I try to figure out how to get my pen system working properly. I got a feeling it could be some perspiration on this thing. I have this app open too. Maybe because let me see something. This thing working fine on another app. Okay, maybe I need to share this app with you because I'm getting some perfect strokes, or maybe because that app is open. Let me try something first. Okay. So I closed an app I had open. Let me see if my writing is gonna improve. I think it's gonna get a little better. Let's see. A. It's getting a little better, but it's not as nice. And I think this perspiration is causing the issue. But these are things I gotta fix in the future. So are we all there? Anybody figure out what is B, what is C? What's your answer? So if you cross adding, somebody's asking if I'm cross adding. No, I'm not cross adding. I'm basically adding corresponding elements. Elements in the same position in one matrix with the element in the same position in the other matrix. It's not cross adding. All right, it is just corresponding. Right, you're adding corresponding elements. So A and 4 got to subtract in the example that I have on screen right now. 3 and C got to subtract. -1 and D got to subtract. And B and -5 got to subtract. So they're asking to find what is the value of A, B, C, and D. Okay, good. I'm glad to have some feedback. It's good, you could drop some message there. All right. So I hope some more students could actually drop some messages in the chat so that I could basically, look and give some feedback. Right. I know that you're understanding what I'm saying. Right. So I want to get through this a little quick tonight. Right. Because it's already late and hopefully tomorrow night I could do something else and so on. And we could do something maybe every night, even if it's ourselves. Right. But you guys got to put in some practice. Right, put in some practice, go and work those papers to reinforce these concepts. Right, this is what I want to encourage you guys to do. All right, also feel free to share the link also, right? Feel free to share the link with your colleagues and so on. So I have it unlisted, it's not public, you can search on YouTube and find it, right? But if you share the link, you can have access. So please share the link with your colleagues. All right, so let me see if I can clean up on my screen a little. All right, so let me try again. I think I have an alternative for this though. I have another software that works better than this. So let's go. What is C? Let's go with B first. So we have B minus, that's this minus sign there, -5. This thing's not giving me justice. Not giving me justice. So let me think. So keep on trying by 10. Let me just try and set myself in a way that I'm going to enjoy working because this software and this digital pen is not reacting nice enough for me. So I'm going to just try to copy it. How do you do that here? Select. So I'm going to try this out. On square select. What is the difference? Honestly.